Welcome, everyone, to the best time of the week. That's right, we're talking about the most anticipated earnings for the upcoming week, July 27th, the week of July 27th. And this is the biggest week in all of earnings season. So, that's my opinion on the matter, just because of the company's reporting here. But as a result, just expect this one to be a little bit long. That's what she said. So we'll get right into it Monday. Before open, with a little bit of Hasbro games, right? You may know them more for board games, and they have started to dabble a little bit into the video game sector. They have mobile games now, so you think about Hasbro, and not an interesting company by any means, probably one of the most boring companies out there. So not really a focus of mine, but just something to look at when you talk about people spending more time with mobile gaming and really gaming in general. Maybe they find a benefit from that, but it's Hasbro, so it's kind of boring. You have SAP, RPM, Emirates Bank Corp, Bank of Hawaii, that's right, baby. We have Community Bank System, Lincoln Electric, Alliance Resource Partners, and EQT. Nothing major for me there, but after close we have F5 Networks, NXP, Amcor Technologies, very good company there, Brown & Brown Insurance. I've never met either Brown or Brown. The question is, do you think they're brothers in the same law firm or insurance company, or are they different people, both the same last name? I don't know. AGNC, TCF, Hexcel, Crane, Forterra, and Alexandria. Now, Tuesday is when it gets exciting for me. Can't lie to you. Sorry, Monday. I know you have some good companies for some people, but for me, I'm excited about Tuesday here. So we start off with Pfizer. And when you think about Pfizer, obviously you need to mention, and what this obviously big conference call is going to mention here is going to be, well, the doses that were paid for by the U.S. government for the COVID-19 quote-unquote vaccine. Now, it's not a vaccine because this is something that actually is used as treatment. It's not a preventative care thing at all, so I don't know why they're calling it a vaccine. Maybe that's me being wrong there. I don't know. But regardless, it's something that's administered after you're on a ventilator, so I don't know why you'd call that a vaccine. But that's going to be the major story. So they've already agreed to buy 100 million doses, which is around $2 billion, and they've agreed to buy another 500 million doses, potentially. So if that's the case, we're talking about a solid $10 billion more dollars that could be added to Pfizer's bottom line here, right? $10 billion for this. Now, I don't know what the cost of production is on this at all, but I can guarantee they're making a hefty profit off of it. So could be pretty good to see if you're a Pfizer shareholder, which I am to an extent, not a big portion, about 3% of my portfolio on the M1 finance side, but nothing too exciting there with Pfizer. Besides, obviously, this could be big for the stock as investors are really focusing still on what is a winner in this pandemic, and that could be one. You have McDonald's. It'll be interesting to see now that they've started to reopen interiors, if they finally don't see a decline like they did last quarter. Last quarter, obviously, they declined because people couldn't go in, and the drive-through business just wasn't enough to keep it up. So McDonald's, I'd like to see them because they lead the way as far as fast foods are concerned. So fast food companies will pretty much follow in line with McDonald's here. So I'd like to see what they do. 3M, nothing, in my opinion, majorly exciting with 3M. I don't have anything necessarily to say with 3M. There's Raytheon Technologies, really good company there. Centene Corporation, Altria. I mean, what can I say? These are just great companies coming up here. Then, it gets a little bit worse with JetBlue. And if we look at last week's earnings to look at companies like Delta Airlines, I think we kind of find out that those are companies that saw revenues decline 80%. 80+%. I'm not joking. 80+%. So Is JetBlue going to face the same thing? Yes. Sorry to say it. JetBlue will face the same. After them, we have Harley Davidson. Are more people driving motorcycles now? I don't know. I think if you're investing in a vehicle, kind of like not a traditional vehicle company, you're looking more for like Winnebago potentially, You want mobile homes because people are doing their own family trips in mobile homes now, as opposed to, just a normal trip. So that way they can stay on their own and not worry about infection, I suppose. Sherwin-Williams Painting Company should benefit because a lot of people are increasing their home improvement efforts with lockdown. So Sherwin-Williams probably sees a benefit. There's LabCorp after them. After close, though, we have AMD. Definitely one of the ones I want to focus on today because it's such a revolutionary company, one of the hottest stocks out there. Expected EPS of 16 cents versus a year ago 8 cents. I don't think necessarily they're for sure going to hit that mark. I could see a miss on an EPS standpoint, but I don't think it'll be much of a miss. Company, I really just think they're just going to see increased costs because of the fact that everything's kind of increased costs. Supply chain, any sort of movement of materials just costs a lot more now. So I can see how that goes. They're not too sure as far as revenue is concerned. We see they're expected 1.86 billion, which is a 21% increase year over year, and I do think that is a completely accurate estimate there. We talk about obviously the benefit from the increase in terms of gaming. Not only are you seeing that in console, but PC as well. So AMD is obviously, in my opinion, the number one in terms of getting processors for gaming computers. So I think more people probably did purchase gaming computers, especially when you talk about stimulus checks. People probably use them to buy, as expected or as anticipated, to buy goods they didn't necessarily need, because that's what people do with their money, and that's why they stay poor. But regardless, okay, AMD, I do see a 20% rise year over year. That's what I'm expecting. After them, Visa should fall in line with the other companies like Discover, and they will see benefit because of everything going on, but also the increase in terms of cash that they're holding on hands probably might scare some investors away, because these companies really do, just to be safe, they're leveraging their positions by holding on a lot of cash. After them, eBay. This is one that kind of shocks me in terms of the anticipated earnings, and I don't know why it's necessarily this way. Now, EPS is expected to grow pretty big. It's expected to be $1.05 versus a year ago 68 cents. So, kind of a shocker to me. I don't know necessarily how they would be able to rise that much. I don't think they'll be able to see that big of an increase. I think that they might see a EPS miss. I could be wrong, though. Now, what shocks me more is the revenue expected, 2.79, which is only expected to be a 30.9% increase. I think this thing should rise more than 5%. Online shopping, and again, eBay is more of an outdated platform, I should say. It's still a company that grows, though. eBay, online shopping has taken off beyond belief for a lot of people. Just in general, online spending. People are spending more money, really, than ever right now in terms of retail as a whole, but online retail is getting a majority of that benefit. So I think eBay should see benefit, especially when we're talking about stuff like masks and everything going on. I think eBay benefits from, so I expect to beat on that. Starbucks, I do want to see, obviously without the ability to have in-store currency there. What can I talk about? In-store shopping. The brain doesn't function sometimes. But without the ability to have people come indoors for a while there, it hits them pretty massively. But I can tell you from personal experience, now I don't go to Starbucks, but I drive by a Starbucks. Their drive-thrus are freaking packed. Freaking packed. At least the two that I regularly drive through on my way to work. Well, drive past. I don't go to Starbucks, okay? I don't drink coffee. I'm sorry. So Is that going to be enough? If you look at companies like McDonald's and how their earnings went, probably not going to be enough. But I would like to see what exactly it looks like for them. After them, we have Dexcom, FireEye, Akami, Amgen, Onioke. I don't know. I want to say one okay, but it's definitely not. But I'm sorry. And Avis Budget Group. Now, Wednesday, another ridiculously good day. Shopify. And we have to talk about Shopify, right? Because this is a company that benefits most from this current environment. It benefits most from it. You get partnerships like Facebook. You get partnerships all over the place. Everyone's using Shopify. Expected a negative 1 cent EPS, which is a decline year over year, and I think that's fine. Flat is somewhat expected from me. I think EPS does decline year over year, though, so definitely something to look at. But revenue is what you need to look at. They're expected to increase 40% this quarter. Now, if I'm being frankly honest, I could see a bigger increase, to be honest with you. I could see more than $508 million. I think they could increase more than 40%. Maybe that's me being crazy, but I think they could. And I think you should agree with me, right? This is an environment that benefits them so much because Shopify is a platform that is being used by a lot of companies. And with online retail only growing, more companies are going to be using it. So Shopify, massive, good one to look at. Still overvalued, but after them, Boeing. Now, Boeing, I don't think is going to fall in the same boat as some of these companies like Delta Airlines because Boeing has a little bit more wrinkles to them. So I don't see an 80% revenue decline, but this company is going to decline revenue over 50%. It's going to be an ugly, ugly quarter. It's going to be an ugly set of quarters. This whole year is going to be ugly for them. So not one I'm getting near right now. Not one I'm getting near. After them, we have GE, a garbage company that's trying to turn it around. So I give them credit for it. Not a company I like personally, but I think management's doing a good job turning that around. I don't know. I don't advise investing in the company right now because this is a long-term turnaround there. Spotify after them, massive earnings here. Very anticipated here because of the fact that I think they gain a lot because of people's free time. They need more time spending listening to music and particularly podcasts. I think that's one thing that Spotify really is focusing on that I think is going to be a major benefit for them is podcasts. Now, earnings per share could be something to look at, but I think revenue-wise, ouch. This is a company that's going to really benefit from everything going on as people have more free time to do really nothing, as in watching videos, not really watching videos, but listening to podcasts, just anything online. They have more time to do it. Afria after them, Anthem, Wingstop, GM, you expect a decline probably in terms of that. Car sales have been pretty rough, but they're starting to see some recovery. But this quarter, not quite as good. Six Flags and then Blue Apron following them. Blue Apron has benefited quite a bit because of everything going on. So anticipate some probably good numbers out of Blue Apron. EPS numbers are probably going to be horrific, as we expected. But all things considered, I think that the stock is definitely still a wee bit not where I like it. But I wouldn't be shocked if this is a point where you buy, potentially buy. I might consider buying a call option on this thing. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I think investors might see good numbers expected, or good numbers, revenue increasing 50+%, and they might freak out and buy. So I'll be looking into call options for this. Maybe not committing, but I'll look into it. Facebook after close. What can I say about Facebook? I mean, come on now. This is obviously one of the greatest companies of all time, no doubt. Expected $1.39 EPS versus 91 a year ago. And I do think they will increase EPS year over year, even with the boycott of ad spend. They're expected only sales growth of 3% because of that ad spend boycott, but I think this company makes it up. Absolutely makes it up. I don't think 3% is fair. I think this is a 10% grower minimum, so this is not quite right. I I just don't buy it. I don't buy this 3% sales growth. I think they'll beat on this aspect. Facebook has a lot going for them. Even if you think about virtual reality with Oculus, I mean, the company has a lot more to it. A lot more to it than just the Facebook platform. So, a lot going on there. PayPal, going to see massive benefits, no doubt, because of a touchless payment society that we're going to. Qualcomm, going to see more benefit whenever 5G rolls out fully. So be looking out for Qualcomm in the future. Teladoc after them, ServiceNow, Lam Research, Crown Castle, Qorvo, O'Reilly Auto Parts, and the United Rentals. After that, we see Thursday, another big day. What can I say? Another big day. Before open, we see UPS has seen a lot more business than usual, obviously with online purchases up massive. So UPS should see a good quarter in terms of revenue. Now, EPS is going to take a big hit, but that's okay. Then we have Mastercard. I'll be expecting similar results to Visa. AstraZeneca, Procter Gamble after that. This is the environment for Procter Gamble products, so this is a company that's worth looking at. We talk about hand soaps, obviously paper products. Procter Gamble makes everything from laundry detergents. They make everything under the sun consumer product-wise. This is the environment for them. This is where they benefit. Kraft Heinz, you're not going to see as big of a boost in terms of pandemic, hoard spending, I should say. The hoarders aren't out quite as much. They are coming back. I got to be honest. As things start to potentially re-shut down again, the hoarders are back. Not at full force, but there are some hoarders. So Kraft Heinz will see a benefit from that. But nothing major, not like last quarter. AB, Anheuser-Busch. After them, people drinking more than usual right now, so good benefit for them. Cliffs, Lilly, Newmont, and Comcast. Don't like Comcast personally, but what can I say? After close, we talk about Amazon. Come on now, are we stupid? We talk about Amazon. Expected EPS to drop massively. $1.32 versus $5.22 a year ago. This is expected a massive drop in EPS. We're talking about $4 of EPS they're going to lose out on. And with all the precautions this company in particular has to take, I don't think that's a ridiculous estimate at all. I do think they beat on an EPS standpoint, though. But I think it could be a rough quarter for them, for sure. But where you see the benefit is in terms of revenue. So this is a company that is expected to put up $81 billion versus $63 billion a year ago. Do you ever see growth that much? 30% when you're talking about $60 billion worth. Oh yeah, Facebook. Just kidding. Eat that. Facebook's good. But people disrespect it. Okay. Amazon here. This is entirely anticipated. I could see 30% revenue growth, no doubt. No doubt for this company. Just because of the fact that, again, companies like Target saw in this quarter 100% growth in terms of online sales. 100%. So a company like Amazon that is strictly physical, well, besides Whole Foods, likely can see a 30% growth, no doubt. No doubt, in my opinion. I think they'll do over $81 billion. Just because this is the environment for them. This is the environment for them. So be on the lookout for that. And we've got Apple. We talk about Apple as well. What do you want me to say? Apple expected $2.02 EPS decline year over year. Not unexpected, but for the full year, they are expected to grow in terms of EPS, which would be pretty crazy to see. Sales growth is expected to be down 3.8%, and expected to only be 1% for this year. Now, I think the analysts get it wrong here. I don't think you see a decline in terms of revenue year over year for this company, and I think people might think I'm crazy for this because obviously Apple stores shut down worldwide, but in my opinion, this is unfair. I think they pick up the revenue elsewhere. I really do. And we talk about their services. I think they pick up revenue in terms of services, and obviously we're in the middle of iPhone cycles, so that doesn't help them. But that compares to a quarter last year that they were in the middle of iPhone cycles, and it was a pretty weak iPhone cycle. So The iPhone 11 cycle is way better than the iPhone 10, no doubt about it. So I think overall you see more. I think you'll see a growth year over year. It's not going to be massive, but I don't think it's going to be a negative earnings there. I think they beat on revenue here. Now to see what else we have Ford Motor Company. Ford, not much to say. Last month we saw growth, but the 2 months prior we saw a decline. I do think overall for the quarter you see a revenue decline year over year. But I think next quarter they turn around. I really do. I think next quarter is the big quarter for them where they see positive growth. EPS is going to look bad for this company. I don't think that it goes without saying there, but just look at it for next quarter, I think. After them, Alphabet. We talk about, again, declining ad spend. And naturally, Google's number one mention on there is the number one, place to spend ads on. They'll get hurt in terms of EPS, no doubt, and revenue, but I think this company's well diversified, and you're going to see a decline year over year probably, but I think they can make up for it. It's okay. The company's still well poised for where they're at, especially in terms of cloud performance. I mean, they got a lot going for them. After them, Gilead Sciences really focuses on the remdesivir drug, which could potentially be a treatment for the current vaccine. What am I talking about? For the current disease going on. Could be. So MGM Resorts after them. Gambling spending, all-time lows this quarter. So it's going to be ugly, ugly, ugly. Mercado Libre. After them, EA Sports. Screw you. Really just EA, but, we don't like EA. Garbage company. Okay? They're rude to us. Vertex, and then Xilinx, I should say. And Friday, we see ExxonMobil. Oil companies I'm still not betting on yet. Definitely not hedging my bets on oil companies quite yet. AbbVie, Pinterest, Caterpillar, Merck, L3 Harris, Chevron, Under Armour, Dominion Energy, and Charter. So that's this for this week, and I hope you're excited. So very good earnings, and I know this is a long one, but I hope you stuck through it, and I hope you enjoy.